Jane, and today we're doing another episode of Who Needs a Stinkin' Handyman. Today we are going to be cutting an acrylic piece of plastic here for the overhead lights for a bathroom. Okay. So this is called an acrylic lighting panel. And as you can see, it's pretty thin, it's flexible. But here's the problem. This happened just in the car. It breaks and shatters easily. So you have to be really careful. It's already ripped there too. And that's just from, taking it from the car. So what we're going to do today is cut it so I can fit it into my bathroom overhead cabinets. So first thing I'm going to do is measure the old ones. Now the old ones have got a bunch of junk on them here, and so I'm just going to line them up. And then I'm also going to measure them. This gives me an idea of about where they're going to be. Okay, so we still got a little bit to cut there. Alright, then I am just going to mark it with a little bit of highlighter here, just so I know where to go. Okay, oops. And then I'm going to get rid of these old panels. Next, what I'm going to do to try to minimize the breaking, because I don't have a, you could probably try this with a saw. I don't know if that'll work or not, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a roll of masking tape. This happens to be painter's tape. That's what I had around the house. So that's what I'm using. It doesn't have to be painter's tape, just regular old masking tape. And then I am going to tape from the inside here for when I cut it. Hopefully it'll give it a little bit more support so it won't crack or chip. Alright, so here, I'm going to tape this now. Okay, and here it is taped. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to flip it over. I overextended the tape so it'd go on the other side, so I know where it's going to go exactly. And I'm going to tape the other side also. Okay, now I'm just going to take an old piece of metal here to put it underneath. So what we're going to do now is just take a regular old utility knife and score this line right here. Now you're not going to be able to cut through this, but we're just going to make an indentation here, and then I'm also going to flip it over on the back side and make an indentation there. And then hopefully it's just going to snap right off. That's the theory. Let's see what happens. Okay, now, to guide you here, I would suggest an old piece of wood, and I don't have one, so I'm using the old ballast here. This thing's pretty heavy, and this is what we're replacing eventually. But don't worry, sometimes I do need an electrician or a friend that can do something like this, because I'm not messing with electricity. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing here is just basically scoring this. So I'm just going to do a little bit here. Just go down the line, all the way down at the line you marked. And I'm going to repeat this several different times. So hopefully it'll make a little indentation. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, let's try it out. Be right back. Okay, I now have it flipped over to the other side here. Now, as you can tell, this is the textured side. So it's going to be a little bit harder to get through here. So you definitely want a piece of wood or something to lean on so you can score this. I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time, but push down on whatever you got to hold it down, and then just go along your line here and try to do the best you can. Okay, now we're ready to see if this works. We're going to hold this down, and then we are going to pull this section up here, and with any luck, this will just snap right off. Yeah, I know. Let's find out. Okay, also make sure you wear some gloves with this. I just have some gardening gloves because this plastic can splinter and it gets pretty sharp, so you don't want to cut your fingers. Let's try it out. Look at that. Perfect. I think it's a winner. All right, so awesome. So this concludes another episode of Who Needs a Stinkin' Handyman?